What up, everybody? Okay, Steve Bertrand here, rollingmotivation.com. Hopefully, by this time, you obviously know who I am. Alright, so, beginning of the month, I wanted to do a quick little video. And first off, want to get out of the way. I know, I look good, but the lighting behind me is kind of crap because I'm kind of just trying to find a half-decent lit spot here in my apartment. And also, if anybody knows like where I can get a tripod from that'll hold my phone, and actually physically knows where there one is, instead of just being like, oh, check the thrift shops or check online, because I'm obviously need to do that. I just haven't yet. But if someone sees one and says, hey, it was at this place for like $6 or like $20, and it came with the stand, or you need to buy the stand extra or whatever, that'd be awesome. Because right now I'm just doing this video on my Samsung Galaxy S3. So I'd like to first out basically say shout out Samsung Galaxy S3, because it's a pretty half-decent bunch of videos I've been putting out lately, if I do say so myself. Alright, on to the important stuff. So today, like I said, is sort of the first day of the new month for me, because I had a pretty decent month changing locations. I finished third out of the region, like all the 4 stores that were in my area, so pretty happy with that. And I set some big goals for the up and coming months, which again, I'm going to follow my own rules, keep it close to my chest. So I'm not going to generally explain specific goals, because then I have to explain the comp plan and all that stuff, and you guys don't care about that, and it gets really complicated. Then I'm also going to write it down and look at it every day, and I'm going to chunk the goals down into small achievable bites, basically weekly and in specific categories to reach said goals. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm taking my own advice again. And I had a really big learning experience today, sort of surrounding that, and this weekend. You should ask yourself, because I asked myself this question, and this is the reflection that I had. Do you ever get involved in altercations or conversations or events or anything like that with another person or another bunch of people that you weren't necessarily invited to talk about or invited to be involved in the conversation at all? There's a younger gentleman I work with at my old job there, at the old JLB, and he's had some experience in the industry. He's actually had some experience with the company in a different dealership location and things like that. And today I came over and he was talking to a customer, and I was trying to I saw an opportunity for a sale. So I mentioned it to the customer, talked to him about a couple things, and then the customer went on their way and said, I'll think about it. And then Cameron basically came up to me and said, can you not do that? I know I'm new, but I just don't really want you getting involved in my sales. You basically repeated everything that I had sort of said. Even though I didn't know that one thing about the iPhone, you basically repeated what I said to the customer, and I just don't really like that, and I needed to take that as a lesson, because I remember getting really pumped and talking to my former manager at the old location, saying, when I go to this new location, I'm just going to sit at my desk. It's going to be my kiosk. It's going to be Steve running his business, CEO of Rolling Motivation, selling cell phones for a company. So basically they're getting the owner-operator of Rolling Motivation at a steal kind of thing, was my sort of mentality that I had. Just going to go in there and not care about anything else, not get focused on anything but my sales. I wasn't going to focus on somebody else. I wasn't going to focus on the store as a whole. I wasn't going to focus on people walking by or anything like that. Like, I was just going to be laser beam, super hardcore focused, and I've fallen off that track. Still had a great month, best month ever, and I want to continue that trend. So I need to get out of the habit of being involved in other people's situations and letting that drain my focus, drain my energy, and drain my drive. So I looked at that and I said, there's 3 things. Like, I always like to break things down into 3 chunks, ideally, because I think we think in threes. Thanks again, Val from Toastmasters, that sort of told me that we think in threes. And the first of 3 questions that you want to ask yourself is, how is this helping me? How is this helping the individual or individuals involved? So the other people that you're getting involved in and offering advice to them. And the biggest question is, was I invited or was I asked for advice, or is this unsolicited advice, basically? So, how is this helping me? How is this helping the other person or persons? And was I asked for my opinion in the situation? And if the answer to the last one is no, obviously just get the heck out. And also, then the other two questions are very, very important. I think it's more important in some cases to help other people if you are asked, even if it's not helping you so much. But you have to be aware that those things can be time vampires and they can take away from your focus. So it's really important to have all three in those situations, not just a win-win, but a win-win-win. Helping you, helping the other person or people, and that you were asked for your advice and asked for your help. And that'll help you get really focused for your month. If anyone needs any help setting any goals, I'm available. You know how to get a hold of me. Steve at rollingmotivation.com, on Twitter at rmotivation, on Facebook and YouTube /rollingmotivation, and make sure you subscribe to the channels and like the Facebook page as well. You can throw your email address down the right hand side on rollingmotivation.com so you don't miss any updates. And that's all I got. Have a rockin' month, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. I'm going to be posting some more videos throughout the month and try and get myself in some different locations. I'd like to do some interviews and different things. So we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for stopping by, and give me any feedback you want, and we'll do some videos with subjects you guys want to cover. Thanks again.